Right, 14 Indian club exercises. So I wanted to start off this video with marching. The exercises that we're going to show here are going to increase with complexity as we go on. Marching, very good for a warm-up. You want to march here until you really feel like you have your balance and you're really moving smoothly through the motion, and before you move on to the next exercise. So next up is going to be twists. So I also like to consider this as part of the warm-up. So I want you to notice that I'm keeping my eyes on the club in front of me, and I'm not just throwing the club behind me, behind my body. I'm using that downward motion that I'm making with my arms to swing the club and swing my body from side to side. So I'm getting a nice full rotation through the spine, nice soft knees, and really starting to prepare the body for a little more complicated, difficult work. Next up is going to be reverse arm circles. So I really like this one here. So it kind of looks like an exaggerated backstroke. Nice straight arm. We're going to take the shoulders through a nice full range of motion, really preparing the shoulder girdle for some more complex or weighted movements, whatever you have coming along further into your workout. And of course, number 4, if you're going to go backwards, you got to go forwards. So here's going to be some forward arm circles, nice tall posture, breathing in and out through the nose, really focusing on the movement, making sure I get a complete rotation through the shoulder. So you notice as the shoulder comes around the back side of the body, my arm starts to open up and then close off on the front side of the body. Again, really focusing on the quality of the movement. Next up, number 5, we have back circles. So this is going to look like a smaller piece of a more complex movement that we're going to do here later on in the video, but I really want you to focus here on the elbow circle, keeping the shoulder blades together and the ribs down, so we have some nice core activation, so that we make sure we have a good connection between the shoulder girdle and the core, because that's going to be very important when we're doing nice athletic movements. So this is a good shoulder mobilizer, really starting to prep the body for some more complicated work. And I still have really light clubs here, using 1-pound clubs. So now we have the front arm circles, which is back arm circles in reverse. You're going to put the clubs in here in the sword in the sheath position before you bring them around inside the front side of your body, pulling the elbows down. Again, nice tall posture, keeping the shoulder blades together. So we're going to get really good upper back development from these exercises. Next, we have the crisscross. I'm sorry, the double down. I apologize. So here I'm bringing the arms out to the side, opening up the hands, lifting the elbows, and I want to have the clubs out in front of my body, just slightly in front of my body, not too far out, and I'm going to dump them out like I'm dumping something out of the top of a pitcher. And this one here, I want to make sure that my shoulders are nice and warmed up. I'm not going to use too heavy of a clubs for this, but this is a really good exercise to start strengthening the shoulders. Next is going to be the crisscross. So now we're getting into something that's going to have a little more of a neurological response, because we have the body doing two different things on each side, and we want to move with synchronicity, right? So nice synchronized movement. In the front, we're doing like a double down, so a little dump over, while in the back, we're putting the club into the sword in the sheath position. Got a nice little twist going to give it a little more of an athletic component as I move from side to side here with the clubs. Number 9. So now this is a mill variation, and I like this variation because as I learned the mill, originally there wasn't really a foot twist, but as a martial artist, I like the added feel of the weight shift as the club moves around the body in that circular motion. And I'm not really throwing the club forward my arm as much as I'm pulling through that lead heel as I rotate it down and help assist. So I want to make a nice connection between that front foot and the heel. Number 10 is going to be the overhead cast. I also like to do a nice wrist circle in here, some good wrist mobilization. Again, as a jiu-jitsu practitioner, we want to keep the joints nice and mobilized, so this is really good for elbow and wrist. And anytime we're doing any kind of hip hinge exercise, I want a nice tall spine, a nice activated core, and you notice that I'm not looking up, but my head is traveling with the rest of my body as an extension of my spine, because it is an extension of my spine, right? So number 11 here, we have the 4-point cast. So originally I learned this exercise as a Persian meal exercise, but I really like this again with the weight shift, letting gravity do the work, not really making a circle with the club as much as I'm letting the shift from side to side of the body bring the club around in a circular motion behind my body and pulling again through that front line making the connection between the opposite foot and the opposite shoulder. It's number 12. So this is movement number 1. Right? So here we got a little more complicated, nice synchronized movement. We want to focus on bringing those nice elbow circles, casting, making sure that both sides of the body are moving together in a nice synchronized fashion, going from the sword in the sheath position back to the home position, making sure my arms and elbows don't come up in front of my face. Number 13 is going to be movement 2, which is basically movement 1 in reverse. So again, I want nice smooth movement on either side. I want to focus on what I'm doing here. I'm going to switch which club swings in front of the body on either side. And I want to make sure that I'm getting, my elbows are coming down, both sides are moving together. I'm pausing between movements. I don't want to move through these too fast until I get really good proficiency. I just want you to see what's happening here through each step of the motion. Nice tall posture, breathing in and out through the nose. Number 14, our final movement is going to be movement 3. So here we have movement 1 and movement 2 happening on one side while the other movement's happening on the other. Again, now this is a really good one for the old noodle, really good for the brain. A lot of neurological responses going on here, moving in a synchronized fashion. Very good for the shoulder, very good for the core. Just an excellent overall exercise. So I hope you enjoyed. That's our 14 Indian Club movements.